Pathshala. You know, I'm sure you have seen our blogs where we mention the concept of sharing is caring. Yes. With that thought in the mind, today we have invited Harsh Vardhan, who is AWS certified, and he's trained on multiple specialties, multiple cloud providers, whether it is Google, whether it is Amazon, or a lot many more. So sharing is caring. On the basis of that, he's gonna train us today. He's gonna train you guys as well. So make sure you watch this video till the end. You can get in touch with us. You can write to our channel, Cloud Pathshala, on our email address. So let's welcome Harsh and let's hear more about him.
Hello everyone. So today in this session we are going to cover about AWS Essentials, where we will be talking more about what is AWS, what are the different services which is provided, how you can migrate to AWS. Prior to that, we have to understand the concept of cloud computing itself.
Right.
We heard multiple words.
Yes.
For more of us, it's like a jargon, multi-cloud, whether it's hybrid cloud, PaaS, SaaS, IaaS, we don't know what it is.
Yes.
So let's start with top layer, where we will understand what are the different types of cloud, how they are then channelized on the verticals, and then we will move towards AWS and understand on all the 4 pillars of the architecture, what are the components available on those 4 pillars, how you can use them to create your first workload on the cloud.
Okay, great. So guys, I want to thank him for the brief description about what we're gonna achieve. Guys, ensure that you watch this video till the end, because a lot of stuff he's gonna talk about. All the people out there who want to learn this technology, I think Cloud Pathshala, this chamber over here, is the single point of contact for you. Stay tuned.
Hi everyone. So in this first session, we will be discussing about types of cloud and how and what we call them. So as you can see here, this top to bottom, you can see these are our public service cloud providers. And here we are talking about your private data centers as well as a cloud provider. So if you see this green outline, when you're talking about something within your private cloud and another portion of your public cloud, this kind of plane or this kind of architecture is called a hybrid cloud, where you have something in your private data center and something in the cloud. The other plane you can see in this red box, where we have our footprints or our presence in multiple cloud providers, whether it can be Google, Amazon, or Microsoft Azure. So these kind of architectures where we use multiple public service cloud providers is called multi-cloud, where we are utilizing multiple cloud providers. So this is the concept, how we segregate the type of clouds. Now we will go, in the next session, we will go in depth regarding types of services inside the cloud. So in this topic, we will be covering majorly about cloud services, how to utilize them based upon the type of uses which we have based on our end requirement. So here we will be talking about basically 3 major services. One is IaaS, which is infrastructure as a service. Second is SaaS, which is software as a service. And third one is the PaaS, which is platform as a service. So majorly if you talk about what are the differences between these 3 type of components. So suppose you go to a cloud provider and you have your own application, you know your application architecture. You just want a VM to deploy those applications. So what you would require? You will just require their VM and network, these kind of basic broad services. So for that we use IaaS, where we spin our own VMs, we deploy our own code and ready to go. But suppose you don't want to have a hassle of having your own IT team who will be managing the patching of this infrastructure, taking care of VM up and down these things. Then what? You are a core deployment team where you will know your application, you have your codes, but you don't want to have the hassle of managing the infrastructure. Then you will go for the services like PaaS, which is platform as a service. So what we do in that? So as you can see in this diagram, for IaaS, we have access till the compute layer. So we have access of compute, and OS would be provided by cloud service providers. We provide our own base applications. We provide our SDKs, Java and Oracle, whatever applications we want to install. On top of that, we have our own user data, which we put over that, and we use it. So this is how a normal architecture works. But in IaaS, you will get a plain vanilla OS of any flavor which you want, and you have to do your own hardening. You have to take care of the patching and everything of that infrastructure. But if you don't want the hassle of doing that, then what you will do? You will get one layer top of it, which includes the base softwares. What does it mean by base softwares? So when we talk about base softwares, so suppose you don't want a hassle to manage the backbone infrastructure, whether it's OS or VM infrastructure. When you talk about VMs, which means anything related to compute, which might be memory or might be your compute resources or even the underlying OS. So then what? You are an organization which you just want to focus on development. You want to harness the cloud services to utilize best of it and do your job. You don't want to have a separate team who will take care of your infrastructure. Then you will use the PaaS as a services. For example, you want to host a database. That database, you don't want to manage it, whether it's Oracle, MS SQL or any XYZ database. You don't want to manage those instances, because in that case you would require a DBA, which is again an overhead for you as a small organization if you are. Then you will use this PaaS services, which is in AWS we call it RDS, Relational Database Service. So in this, you do not manage the database layer. So you get the database layer, you just get their credentials of admin credentials. You know the ports on which it will work. You will open the required ports on the security group level, and you are ready to go. You upload your data, create your own schema, and your app layer can harness these resources and it will work. Similarly, you don't want an application or web layer to be created. You have your code. You don't want to play with Apache or IaaS and these things. So you use Elastic Beanstalk as a service in AWS. What does service does? So it provides a platform where you can select what kind of web layer you are having. You can select what kind of SDKs you are using, whether it's based on Java, whether it's based on some other SDK. So you select that, you upload your code, and you are ready to go. You just select on the ports you want it to listen, and it's ready to go. You don't need to take care of the application's infrastructure, whether it's your compute OS or based application as Apache or other services. Now the third layer is your SaaS. SaaS is software as a service. So in today's world, you have access to Google, you access Gmail, you might be accessing other email services. What it does, it's just you have a login credential, you log in over there and you are ready to go. You send email, receive email, does things like that. And the enterprise level, we have applications like O365. We have Salesforce. So what they are, you do not know what infrastructure they are sitting, where they are sitting. You don't know what underlying application they are running. You just care that these are set of activities which you want to perform, and that can be performed using your login credentials. So you just only pay for per user basis. You do not have hassle of having any of these layers. So this is software as a service. So now we will go in the next topic and deep dive a bit about AWS Essential Services in all these three different layers. And we will also discuss regarding different architectural modules like your compute, your database, your storage, and maybe security. So we will talk about all four modules in detail.